morning. It is time to get up with a night filled with stars. Baseball's best battle a mile high. We've got all the moments right off the top. Then hold everything. Did you hear what Shefty said yesterday? Changes everything we thought about the situation in Green Bay. We'll get you there. Plus, the Bucks back tonight. Giannis and company desperate. Vince Carter will tell you exactly what he needs to do in Game 4. All that and more as we get up with you starting right now. And the house is getting more and more packed. Delighted to have Cassidy Tannenbaum, Jeff Saturday, Jeff Darlington, all ready to go as we will be busy with the football and the hoops. But we start with baseball's biggest stars on baseball's biggest stage. A mile high last night, the 91st Baseball All-Star Game, and the very first batter, the biggest star of them all. Shohei Ohtani leading things off for the American League. That's the first at bat of the ball game. He would ground out. He'd go 0 for 2 at the plate last night, but that was not all the business he was doing. Ohtani starting on the mound for the American League, facing Fernando Tatis Jr. It would be one inning for Ohtani. He would not give up a hit, would not give up a run. To the third we go, the American League, holding a 1-0 lead, Vlad Guerrero Jr. at the plate. And youth will be served. 22 years old, the second youngest player ever to hit a home run in the All-Star game. Only Johnny Bench had done it younger. That one went 468 feet. Bottom of 8, National League down 5-2, but they've got a great chance. Chris Bryant to the plate. Bases are loaded and 2 men are out. Jared Walsh has never played left field in a major league game, but look at the catch that he makes to preserve the lead in the All-Star game. In fact, that would basically win it. Bryant can't believe it. American League wins it by a final of 5-2, and Guerrero is the All-Star game MVP. Again, at 22 years old, the youngest ever to win that honor, and with his home run, he and his father, Vlad Sr., becoming the third father-son combination to hit home runs in the All-Star game. Sr. hit his 15 years ago. The others to do it's pretty fancy company to be keeping, the Griffies and the Bonds. Much more from the All-Star game as we continue. But right now, to the NFL and to the very latest on Aaron Rodgers, where we are 13 days away from the Packers opening up training camp. That's July 27th. Now, yesterday, Adam Schefter had an update on the Rodgers situation on his podcast. We thought the update deserved to be played in its entirety, so here it comes. This is Shefty.
We also continue to wait for an answer from one Aaron Rodgers, who very easily could have dismissed all the speculation that's going on around him with a simple statement of, I'll see you at training camp, or I'll be there on opening day. And instead, we haven't gotten that. Because the fact of the matter is, the truth is, he doesn't want to be in Green Bay. He hasn't planned to be back in Green Bay. Now, we'll see whether the Packers and him can come up with some sort of compromise that can lure him back there. But I don't believe, and I think Aaron Rodgers knows this, that he wants to be back there, nor plans to be back there at this time. He just hasn't come out and said it. Look, the fact of the matter is he loves his coaches, he loves his teammates, he loves many of the people that he's worked with, but not everybody. And so this obviously continues to set up as the storyline of the summer. We'll see how the Packers handle it. But the one thing I feel very comfortable and confident in saying is Aaron Rodgers does not want to play there anymore. The question is whether they can convince him to do it. And I don't know how that is going to work out.
So this obviously sends things in a vastly different direction than much of the sensibility has been the last few days. And I underlined 2 words that Shefty used. He says he doesn't want to play there. That's one thing. He then says he doesn't plan to play there. That, of course, is something else entirely. And the Jeffs are there. And Mike Tannenbaum, I'll start with you here. As a former general manager yourself who's in these places, is 13 days from now a deadline? Do you believe we will know one way or the other with some resolution how this is going to go?
No, Greeny. Until we get to the opening season, until we get to that first week, I don't think anything changes because Green Bay has to be convinced that he's going to miss regular season games for them to even consider shifting their thinking. Because, again, if they're going to ever consider trading him, it's going to be for draft choices next April. So they want to take as much time as possible. Really, the closest precedent we have is going back to 2011 when Carson Palmer missed half the season and he was ultimately traded from the Bengals to the Raiders. So this has quite a while to play out.
It could, and that's a good point. And the Palmer, I understand the Palmer comparison because of the circumstances, but his was so different. He wanted out of a team because they were so bad, and he felt they'd never get good. He had no chance to win there. This is a Super Bowl caliber team. Does that factor into the thinking on either side at all?
Yeah, I mean, if I'm Aaron Rodgers, the best chance for me to win a championship this year is in Green Bay. Now, maybe, as Adam alluded to, is there a compromise? Do they shorten his contract and he plays 2021 in Green Bay? And again, if I'm Green Bay, and I was there with Darrelle Revis a decade ago, Greeny, I have to do everything within reason to solve this, and I would never consider trading the player unless I felt like he was going to miss a lot of regular season games. So I think it's in both sides' best interest to find some middle ground.
All right, let me go to Jeff Darlington next, if I can, because, Jeff, there is a financial piece to this that I think people have some sense of an idea of what it is, but just how significant it actually is.
Well, Greeny, and that's what I keep coming back to here. Like, I understand Aaron Rodgers not wanting to go to work anymore. It reminds me of The Office Space when Peter Gibbons is like, yeah, I'm just not going to work there anymore. It doesn't work that way when you consider some of the ramifications from a salary standpoint. And we can talk about like the numbers that are obvious. Okay, we got a base salary of $14.7 million. We've got a roster bonus of $6.8 million that he would forfeit if he didn't show up. Then we've got the workout bonuses he's already missed out on, $500,000, another $100,000 for the mini camp that he missed. So we're up to upwards of $22 million. There's another $1.75 million that if he misses 35 training camp practices that he would miss out on. Those are unforgivable fines there. And then another $11.5 million in signing bonus that the Packers could go after if they wanted to. So like, I get it. Aaron Rodgers doesn't want to play for the Packers anymore. I guess I'm still not understanding what he's going to do instead, because just not showing up for work doesn't work in this world. Unlike Peter Gibbons, Aaron Rodgers will be out of a lot of money.
Yeah, at some point it does start adding up to real money, even if you're Aaron Rodgers, which brings me to Jeff Saturday and what you have been saying since this whole thing began, Jeff.
Yeah, he's going to be a Packer, and he's going to play as a Packer this season, and that's just the way it is. This is what grown folks do. You don't like your boss? Suck it up. You still got to go to work, right? Like that's what a lot of people end up having to do. He likes his teammates. He likes his coaching staff. He wants to be there. And to Tannenbaum's point, this is his best opportunity to win a Super Bowl. Make no mistake about Aaron Rodgers. Whatever you think about how he's doing the business side of it, this is a competitive player when he hits the field. He won the MVP last year. He wants to show that he's still in that caliber. He understands what's at stake. This guy's not getting any younger, right? I mean, he's in his upper 30s already. The team is ready to strike right now. All of those things come into it's now. You got to play for the Packers. And so as I've looked at this thing, nothing has changed for me. If this thing didn't get done way back in the spring, it's not getting done. He's going to play as a Packer this season.
Jeff, you made another point, Jeff Saturday, that I thought was interesting in our meeting this morning, where Shefty is saying, well, he could have ended all this by saying, well, I plan to be there. You said there's another way that he could have ended this that he didn't choose either.
Yeah, he could have sold all the stuff in Green Bay and been like, I ain't going back to Green Bay no matter what, right? I mean, he could have drawn a line in the sand on either side. So as much as I appreciate what Shefty's saying on this side, he could have easily said, house is already sold, cars have already been shipped back to California. I ain't going back to Green Bay, right? This isn't going to happen. He did not put that in the universe as well. So as much as it is on one side for Shefty, for me, it's the other way. He could have definitely made it clear he wasn't going to be a Packer. He hasn't made that stance either. He's going to be a Packer. I've said it for 4 months. It's not going to change. Whether he likes it or not, this is what he's going to do because he knows it's in his best interest.
Greeny, there's another X factor here. If Green Bay starts off 0-3 and Jordan Love looks terrible, that gives Aaron Rodgers immense leverage. And it may be, hey, I'll come back,
yes,
but now you got to shorten the contract by 2 years, which is something Green Bay doesn't want to do, but it may give him the best chance to salvage this season, get to the offseason, get 2 or 3 first-round picks, and then go draft his successor. So if he misses regular season games,
yes, sir,
the eyes of the football world will be on Jordan Love's performance.
Absolutely. All right, we will see. Maybe in 13 days we will have some resolution to the situation, and maybe we will be even further away from the answer than we are right now. We'll have more football as we go, but we got to get to the game of the night, the blowout of the night last night, and it's one that we desperately needed. So Team USA coming off back-to-back exhibition losses, and if ever there was pressure on the American team to play well in an exhibition, maybe it was here against Argentina, and if so, they rose to the occasion. That's Damian Lillard knocking down a three in the first half, and then how about watch Draymond Green working his way inside.